Hello, I'm joined today by Joel Stutzfield, Sales Manager at Koh Young in the Americas.
Correct.
Nice to see you again, Joel.
You as well. Happy to be here.
So, yeah, it's a very exciting time to be here in the Cloud9 innovation.
It is. The evolution from what we talked about at Apex, right? And
correct,
we've continued to move things along from that standpoint.
So where has Koh Young gone from since Apex? I mean, we're working on connectivity with Panasim.
Sure.
I see that you've got both SPI that we know about and AOI in the line.
We do, absolutely.
What improvements have we made since then?
Sure. So basically, I think what we learned from Apex was that there was additional functionality that we could both benefit from implementing. We sat down and we took a look at just exactly what that consisted of, what was the best way to implement. So from that time till now, we've been working on things like auto changeover for the entire line, production monitoring and dispatch, production analysis, traceability, those types of functions and capabilities. Working closely with the PANA team, we've had people here from Korea for extended stays to make sure that we're covering all the bases and getting to the point where
quite a straightforward process.
Yeah, for the most part. I think again, it's the key is defining exactly what we want to do. What's you know, obviously that's coming from customer requirements, customer needs, customer inputs. Implementing that in a fashion where it's a very usable product and can be rolled out easily and can be acquired in module format, so not everything has to be implemented at one time, that type of thing.
So let's walk ourselves down the line with the Koh Young equipment.
Sure.
With the SPI equipment, I'm right in saying that you are able to analyze the 3D data and make auto corrections back to the printer systems.
Yep.
Where obviously most of the defects occur.
That's right.
Now, looking at the configuration we've got down here, you've got an AOI system which is pre-reflow.
Correct.
And obviously people have the opportunity to either make it pre-reflow or post-reflow.
Sure.
Sometimes both, but usually one or the other.
Correct, yes.
So let's talk about this. What is your pre-reflow AOI offering you?
Sure, absolutely. So typically in a pre-reflow environment, we're looking at what we traditionally call the pre-reflow inspection items, which is things like presence, absence, polarity, part marking, missing, positional adjustments, those types of things. Basically everything except solder, right?
Right.
So in this particular context, why that's so important is because at this point we still have the opportunity to make changes by feeding information back to the mounter for those types of defects that are found. Once the board goes through the reflow oven, and we know the effects of the reflow profile and how it can move things around, how things can tombstone and shift and so forth.
Right.
The data that we're pulling at that point is really not appropriate for feeding back to the mounter because we don't know exactly where that occurred, right? We think potentially it could have happened in the reflow oven, could have happened somewhere else along the way. At this point, we still have the ability to send that information back in a usable format to make the needed adjustments to achieve that self-healing concept that we talked about at Apex.
Right, so that then really starts to justify having pre-reflow AOI. You can make that adjustment and save yourself money before you bake the board.
Absolutely right.
Because once it comes out the other end,
well, again, it's back to what we're driving toward here. At the end of the day, what we want coming out of that reflow oven is a perfect product, and we want to be able to share information up and down the line with all the various partners to make the adjustments needed to make that happen, right? So at that point, the post-reflow system in this utopian environment that we're trying to achieve basically becomes a verification tool that all of those things did in fact happen.
Right, right. So it's not a case of, well, instead of having pre-reflow, post-reflow, make it pre-reflow, you actually need both.
You really do, yeah.
Because this is doing a different function.
Absolutely.
This is now giving intelligent data to the mounter.
Exactly.
To make corrections.
Exactly.
So it's actually got a...
Yeah, it's very much, it's performing very much the same function as the SPI machine from that regard.
Right.
It's taking that again, the measurement data, feeding it back to the system that can actually make the adjustment, and then realizing the effects of that. So yes, ultimately, in this scenario, SPI, pre-reflow, post-reflow is really what you would need to achieve the entire element of what we're looking for.
Now, obviously, this is a journey we're all on in terms of development.
It is that.
I mean, how long do you think it'll be before we're really seeing real results coming out? You know, having this working seamlessly.
I don't think it's going to be long. We have activity going on right now, which will prove some very specific results for both parties, probably within the next. I would say within the next 3 months. Yeah, we're going to be, we're being challenged, we're being asked to implement these modules that I spoke of collectively, that mutual customers. We're going to have instantaneous feedback on those results. We'll be able to make further adjustments and then move on to the next level of functionality that we want to add from that standpoint. Right? So it's kind of a never-ending end game here once we get started, but phase one is important, and that's where we're at right now.
Exciting stuff.
Very much so.
Joel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to be here and work with Panasonic.
That's great. Thank you.